Thanks for visiting McLean Kohler, Sparks & Hammond. We're a group of CPAs specializing in the death care industry. One of the special services we've developed here at MKS&H is trust data due diligence. As you are aware, pre-need merchandise sales often are not delivered to a customer until some future point in time. Most states require a certain percentage of cash collected be put in trust and only withdrawn once deliveries are made. Trusts are also used to help pay for the future care of cemeteries, normally only allowing interest withdrawals. Over the years, we found many issues with the trusting process, so in response, we've developed our trust data due diligence services. Do you utilize trusts to fund your pre-need or perpetual care liabilities? Are you confident that your trusting process is accurate? Oftentimes, when auditing trusts, we have observed circumstances where required deposits are not being made, or improper withdrawals are being taken from the trust. This is normally not due to fraudulent circumstances. It may be due to staff being unfamiliar with software, or the trusting laws, or just human error. If trusting is not performed correctly, it may improve current cash flow at the expense of the future when deliveries are supposed to be made. Or if there's over-trusting or a failure to withdraw funds when items are delivered, current operations may suffer. It is especially important to understand whether trusts will cover their liabilities when buying or selling a business. Sellers normally want to represent themselves accurately, whereas buyers don't want to overpay for cemeteries with underfunded trusts. Are you rolling the dice because you really don't know whether your trust will cover your future liabilities? Have you considered what's in your trust? Is it enough to cover required deliveries? Will you have to cover future deliveries from your operational cash? Has there been excess cash put away in the trust? Is it possible you can get to that cash? Of course, that depends on the laws in your state regarding the trust, but there are states where you can take the excess out. The true value of a cemetery or funeral home can depend on the accuracy of the underlying trust data. Are you rolling the dice on your business? MKS&H's trust data due diligence services can help you estimate the accuracy of your trust data. First, we brainstorm with you to understand your company, your investment accounts, your liabilities, internal controls, and other business attributes. Then, we determine an appropriate sample size and test your trust data. If we find significant errors, we may need to increase the size of the sample. Next, we analyze the data. We extrapolate the results of the testing to the population and determine what this indicates about your future liabilities in relation to your trust data. Then, we can help you manage. Once we've determined if the data appears relatively accurate or if there are errors, we can help you create an action plan to correct any issues. To recap the steps, Step 1, we brainstorm. We look at your investment accounts and liabilities, your financial statements. We consider your internal control systems. We understand your software systems, and we look at your business attributes. The second step of the process is to sample the trust data. Based on the information we learned from you when we brainstormed about your company, we will determine a sample size. We will test their data, and depending on the results of those tests, we may have to consider retesting and adding additional samples in order to validate our overall testing. Step 3 of our process is to analyze the data. We stratify the results by category and extrapolate the results of the data testing to the entire population. then we can estimate the dollar errors and how much your liability really is in comparison to the trust assets that you hold. In step 4 of our process, we can help you manage the results. We will use the results to estimate your financial statement valuation issues. In other words, will your trust cover your potential future liabilities for deliverables? Then we can decide whether or not there's more work needed to test the accuracy, or if the results could really be called positive. If there are errors, we can also help you to determine whether you want to correct them and how to go about that process. The point behind these trust data due diligence services is to help you understand the value of the company. Will your investment trust data and receivables hold enough value to cover your future liabilities, or will they not? And what do you do in that case? How does that affect the value that you would expect to receive if you sell the company, or how would that affect the value if you plan to buy a company? MKS&H's trust data due diligence services are customized to your needs. Pricing will differ based on your company attributes. Talk with your MKS&H advisor to learn more about how you can determine where your trust investments match their corresponding liabilities and how this affects the value of your company or one you're trying to buy.